Hello, beautiful souls. Mwah. Welcome to Self-Love Talks. It's just me tonight, and I have a really empowering and beautiful and what can I say? It's a message for the Starseeds and anybody else who relates to this. And I think a lot of you are going to relate to this. And it's about how to win the war. And I think you all know what war we're talking about here. We're talking about the ultimate war, the war that's been going on. Hello, guys. Welcome. Let me know that where you're watching from, where you are, how you're doing. It's so good to be here with you again. So, how to win the war. Oh, is there no sound? Oops. Why is there no sound? There should be sound. Okay, maybe I can unplug this. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, guys? Just let me know. Just unplugged one microphone. Clearly that wasn't working very well. Yeah, that one. There you go. Let me know if you can hear me now. How are you doing? It's been a crazy week, right? I don't know about you guys. Last week, I know a lot of people, and perhaps this week as well, everyone's feeling exhausted, an unexplainable kind of exhaustion. Let me know if that's you. And feeling really quite spaced out and unable to focus on things, and that there is so much energy integrating, so many things happening. It's kind of hard to say in a sense where it's coming from, to figure it out and why it's happening. And it's been a crazy time, but we are in between eclipses. So just remember that it's a massively transformational window. I mean, transformation is always happening, right? But between the eclipses, the new moon, the lunar eclipse last Friday, and then the solar eclipse coming up on the 3rd, 4th of December. So just remember that we're in between a massive transition, and just to self-nurture, self-care as much as you can, clean up your diet, get lots of exercise, be in nature, and really nourish yourself. That's so important. Take lots of rest. Yeah, you can hear me now. That's so great. Great to have you with me, guys. So I feel really energized and inspired. And it's largely because of my clients and the people that I connect with out there. Because every time I have a client, it's like reading the universal news and seeing what's going on. And today I had a client, and a Starseed client, as most of my clients are. And he had this big question of how to win the war, how to not keep repeating the same patterns, the same cycles that we have been in over and over and over again with regards to fighting an enemy that we cannot necessarily see. And so I want to talk about things tonight on a galactic scale. And we know, at least a lot of us know, maybe you know this by now, that the war that everybody is fighting at the moment is not something new. Even though it might seem like this is the first time this has ever happened on Earth, it's not the first time it's happened in our soul history. We have all lived lifetime after lifetime. And I would say many, if not all the starseeds, especially the adult starseeds that I hear now, we are living in an echo chamber of a war that started and was played out many, many, many thousands of years ago, tens of thousands of years ago. And the reason it's still playing out now, and that this is repeating again, and humanity is threatened again by these unseen forces, by these dark forces, is because we are still hooked in to the trauma of the experience that we went through thousands of years ago. So in order for me to explain this, I'm going to ask you to bear with me, because I want to show you very practically what you can do to win this war, to get out of it, to stop the wave happening again, to stop the destruction of humanity and all our species again. Okay, so just bear with me here. I'm going to talk about, I get a little bit out of breath when I'm excited, so I have to kind of slow down. So let me explain it like this. Let's say this is the past. This here is present time, and this here is the future. And in fact, the way that the camera's showing, it might be better to do it the other way around. But let's just say this is the past, present, and future. So in our past reality, we, as starseeds, were in a war with other races of beings. We were in a galactic war, and we saw mass destruction of other races. There was a lot of manipulation, a huge amount of deception and betrayal of trust, betrayal of basic, fundamental, what can I say, like, you don't annihilate species. It's like that's a universal law, if you like, that we don't destroy creation, but we support creation. And there's something in us as human beings or other densities and dimensions of beings who are based on that they're vibrationally based in love. So we as starseeds in the past were vibrationally based in love and goodness and service to others and kindness. And we are now in this present state as human beings. And so it was kind of, we were kind of tricked, but it was our own naivety that went against us, because we couldn't conceive, just like the timeline now, well, we couldn't conceive that other races or other beings could do such heinous crimes. We couldn't conceive that they could go to such an extent to annihilate civilizations of beings and other planetary beings. So we didn't really believe that it was going to happen. And it caught us off guard because we were naive, because we were loving and we were trusting. We had basic decency. So when these darker beings, when these beings with agenda were at war, it was like it took us by surprise in a lot of respects. And we weren't able to respond from a place of empowerment. It was frightening because it was unknown to us. We were seeing something that we were not used to dealing with. And it was terrifying because it felt like we were caught on the back foot and we couldn't succeed at winning that war. And we saw the destruction of planets, of races, of beings, of our kin. We saw the fabric of that, let's say, the universal council or the universal consciousness being torn apart. We saw destruction, and it was hugely, hugely traumatizing. Now, what happens when a trauma like that happens, or a trauma on any scale happens, and you can talk about any past timeline that you can think of, whether it's your childhood or past life or whatever, but any trauma that happens, it's like a bang, it has a hit, let's say, in the universal frequency. And then after that bang, after that event, let's say, after that destruction event, it carries on having ripples. Okay, just like anything. If I was to, I don't think I've got it right now. Have I got it right now? Yeah, I do. If I was to take this tuning fork, for example, and I hit it, the hit has finished, but you can still hear the ripples of that impact in the sound. So the ripples keep going. And the ripples are still with us now in this timeline, in this life, with you right now. The echo, the ripples of that trauma, until the ripples stop. In that, we go back to the original trauma. We make peace with the trauma. Then it stops the ripples. but we're still in that ripple. So many human beings on this planet now are starseeds and have a feeling of unfinished business. We have a feeling of great responsibility, that we were supposed to do more, that we were supposed to stop something catastrophic happening and we couldn't, and it was out of our control, and we're terrified. And loads of us, all of us, I don't feel myself included in this, but loads of us are terrified of death, terrified of that destruction, terrified of the loss of power, terrified that those events that happened in the past, in those galactic wars, are still impacting us now and will have the same catastrophic effect upon humanity and the destruction of our species and the destruction potentially even of our planet and our system. And so because of the residue of that trauma, people are still in fear. And they're still trying to win the war by fighting against the enemy, even though you can't really see the enemy. Not with your own eyes, not right in front of you. We perhaps can see figures in the news that represent the bad guys or a part of the bad guys' story, but there's still distance. We can't actually reach them and fight them or sit them down and have a conversation, right? It feels out of our control. So lots of people are still reacting and in reaction to that trauma, still trying to complete something, putting loads of their own sovereign divine energy into not themselves, but out there into the world, into the astral realm, into those forces that we can't see. Or we're trying to stop it and say, no, no, no. Now, I believe in saying no, don't get me wrong. When something wrong is happening, you go, this is wrong, and it needs to stop. And you need to have that definite no, this stops now inside yourself, right? That, and be very clear on that. That's a good thing. But when we're trying to fight against something, what's actually happening is we're pouring all of our energy into the fight, into the war. And that energy comes from fear. So it's like, yeah, so it's a fear reaction, it's a trauma reaction. So here's what I suggest that we do, and I know this works 1,000 billion%, is that until we do this thing that I'm going to tell you about, those ripples, and I think this is our biggest fear, that it's going to happen again and that we won't be able to stop it. And then that destruction, that evil, that darkness will keep going. And it will keep consuming other races, and it will keep consuming and destroying to feed itself, right? And that's freaking people out. So the way, and actually we see that in our future, and we kind of go, oh my God, that's what my future's going to be like. My future's going to be where, you know, I'm segregated and I'm put in some kind of camp, or I've lost my freedom, or, you know, things are being done to me that I don't agree with, and there's nothing I can do to stop it because it's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the food, it's in my arm, it's everywhere, right? So what we need to do in order to stop this war and to stop these ripples, and it's really, really simple. The thing that allows it to perpetuate is our reaction to it. And we're reacting because of a past trauma that's still affecting us. We're still traumatized in loss, in grief, in sadness, in betrayal, in loss of power and helplessness. So when we can make peace with what feels like the past us, or it's not really past, you see, it's because it's still happening now, it's still affecting us now. But to be able to tap in, and I don't mean through this tiny little window of our consciousness where we can only see so much right here, well, because we have a limited consciousness as a human being, and it's designed like that for a reason, so that we can exist in time and space and reality and have these bodies and, you know, not be completely overwhelmed. But the memory is not necessarily in the forefront of the mind, in the consciousness. The memories are in the DNA. The memories are deep, deep down in your psyche, deep, deep down in your subconscious and your unconscious memory. But we can feel it, right? You know if what I'm saying is true because you're feeling it and it's resonating with you. Even if in your mind you're going, oh, what? Something in you feels it. And I know that you know that. And it's like, oh, the exhaustion, here we go again. Oh my goodness, I've been doing this for so long. And those parts of you that resonate, that can feel this and go, yeah, I'm still reacting in fear of loss and fear and trauma and fear of death and fear of whatever it is. Feel that in yourself, because that's the part of you where you can stop the ripples by making peace with yourself. You don't need to think about the enemy. You don't need to focus on the evil that you can't see. It's literally your relationship to it has a huge impact of how much further these ripples continue to go. And when many of us do this, or all of us do this, we pull the plug out on it completely. We stop those ripples, because all we need to do is feel that part of us that was traumatized in the past, feel our helplessness, really feel it, really access it in your body. Where is it? Is it in your heart? Is it in your gut? Is it in your sacral center? Where are you feeling it in your body? Where are you feeling that reaction to want to fight? Where are you feeling the loss and the grief? Where are you feeling the disempowerment or the fear that it's going to keep happening and we're not going to be able to stop it? Feel that in you, because that's your route in, not out there, but in. That's your route in to go and connect and go, oh, me that was afraid, me that feels huge responsibility to fix this, to fight it, to win it, to stop it, to save humanity. You that feels that level of responsibility and that anger and that frustration. Feel that in your body. This is where the peace needs to be made, is inside you. With those parts of you that remember, even if you're not remembering here, where you're remembering it in your soul, where you're remembering in your DNA, where you're remembering in your body. Because your soul incarnates into different bodies. And those bodies tend to all look fairly similar. There's always your own unique signature from your soul that kind of gets imprinted onto your external expression, your external look, if you like, your identity. And it goes from whatever your soul remembers, ends up getting printed into your cellular memory now, into this body, right? You take your soul out and the soul goes into another body. That soul will imprint the memory right back into the next body. Okay, so your body is an indication. Where have you got pain? Where have you got disharmony? Where have you got dysfunction in your body? You know, perhaps you're having heart palpitations, or perhaps you're having problems with your digestion and your gut. Perhaps you're having problems with your hormones and your sexual area. Whatever it is, these are the places where that trauma has been unresolved and is repeated into every body you've been in, carrying that trauma from one lifetime to the next. Okay, if you can understand it like that, we're the carriers of this ripple. We're perpetuating the ripple because we embody it again and again and again and again. So it's not so much as trying to fight an unforeseen force, but making peace with the you that is still carrying the responsibility, the weight, the burden, the guilt, the shame, the loss, the grief. That's where you make peace. And you make peace by opening your arms as wide as you can, opening your heart as wide as you can, and embracing and feeling those parts of you that are in pain, that are in fear, that are in anger, that are in sense of overburdenment with responsibility to heal everybody and save the world. Embrace that part of you. Embrace that part of you that was in that war thousands of years ago, that couldn't win, that was tricked, that was manipulated, that was overpowered. And just bring yourself home and say, come back to the truth right now. I love you. I love you, disempowered me. I love you, angry me. I love you, overburdened with responsibility me. And really acknowledge and validate, I'm so sorry what you went through. Validate the trauma, because the trauma is real. Trauma can happen in any point, any timeline, and it can keep rippling, and that ripple is real. So really embracing that with so much love and compassion, and forgiving yourself that you couldn't do anything back then, and that you actually did everything you possibly could at the time. And if that didn't feel like enough, then you're carrying not enough, and you need to forgive yourself that at that time, everything that you did in your power was still not enough to win then. Please forgive yourself. Because it wasn't all your fault. It wasn't our fault. It just wasn't the right time. At that time, we did our best. We used the tools we had. We now have other tools, right? There's another way that we now know that we didn't know before. So when you know something now that you didn't know before, what are you going to do? Keep beating up on yourself? Keep hurting yourself with your anger? Keep hurting yourself with your pain and your loss? Keep hurting yourself with your fear? Keep beating yourself up and still fighting something out there that's not tangible? It's coming back in here and saying, please forgive me. I want to make peace with you, me. Traumatized me. Traumatized you. Make peace with yourself. Because how many more lifetimes do you want this to repeat? And I know none of us do. So we are actually equipped with the perfect tools, the perfect weapons, if you like, if you can call love a weapon. It's the ultimate power, let's say that, the ultimate power against evil and darkness is unconditional love. That's where the light gets switched on. In love, everything becomes clear. The path becomes focused. The heart is open. You're ready to receive your true power when you open to unconditional love. Breathe. Just breathe it in. So you're saying that's so affirming. Yeah, of course it is, because you have the tools. And I think you've always had the tools, but we just didn't know. We didn't know then that our natural state of being, our natural frequency, our natural harmony as love, we didn't realize that love could be used in combat, in a sense, that could be used to overthrow darkness, could be used to disempower and disarm evil forces. We didn't know that then. We took it for granted. We were naive to ourselves. We were naive to our power. We were under threat of something we didn't yet know. So now we know. Now we know that there is evil. Now we know that there are dark forces. Now we know that there are beings that want to take away humanity and want to destroy the very fabric of the universe and the very fabric of what it means to be a human being. They want to destroy the DNA of human beings because they're not right in the head. They're messed up, right? It's a distorted agenda, and it's distorted Because those beings that perpetrate such things also do not know the power of love. Because if they did, what they're seeking is power. And if they knew the power of love, then they would choose that power instead. But they don't know how. But we do. You're a starseed. You're a light worker. You're love incarnate into a human body right now. Your soul has had this journey. You understand. So now is the time for you to really embody and own your divine power, your God-like, God-given power, your divine feminine, divine mother-like power, human power of unconditional love. Because that trumps everything. And I'm sure that the way that you love others is the best you could possibly do it. I'm sure you pour your love out to everybody. But if you're still carrying pain and trauma, and you're still not opening up to receive your power, to really, really own it, and receive the gifts that come with your activation into that unconditional love empowerment, if you're not doing that, then you're not loving yourself the way that you're loving others. If you're in pain and you're suffering, you are not loving yourself, my friend. If you're struggling and fighting and still in fear, you're not loving yourself. Okay, that's exactly those places where your love is needed the most. Your love, your power of your love and your gifts. Now is the time for you to activate and play life's greatest, most benevolent, powerful force. You, your unconditional love. And you use your unconditional love for yourself to meet every single part of you that you believe is less than, that you believe is not enough, that you don't believe in. It's like my client said to me earlier, he was looking at himself and saying something about loving the best version of himself and that his best version he could love. And I said, well, what about all your other versions? Are they not worthy of love? Are you only going to love the best version of you? Like a slice where you slice yourself up and go, okay, no, this slice is the best one. And then you'll go, oh, no, this slice is the best one. This version that I've constructed in my mind is the best version of me. My most powerful, my most light. What about all your other versions? What about traumatized you? What about you that was kicked around as a little kid and didn't feel worthy? What about little you that's scared? What about the version of you that does feel helpless? Are they not worthy of love? They're most worthy of love. That's where the love is needed. It's so easy to love the perfect version of, or the ideal version of something, of life or of ourselves. It takes genuine love, real love, to really love that which feels weaker, feels less important, less powerful, screwed up, Go love that part of you. Because those are the vulnerable parts of you that are constantly being attacked and caught up in this cycle and this drama and this repeating pattern and the ripples. Right? You can't separate your best version and say it's okay, whilst these other versions, and I say versions in inverted commas, these versions of you are under attack. And you're trying to stay on top of it and defend yourself and, raise your vibration and all these things. Quickest way to raise your vibration is to go and love all the lower parts of your vibrations, right? Integrate your whole self so that you're not playing out a version, you're not taking a slice, but you're loving every single part of you. Every version of you is perfect and lovable to you. And you have the power to do that because you're the most loving person that you know. You're the most loving person on the planet. You're the one who knows how to actually love. You're the one who remembers that you are the being of love. That's your superpower. That's who you are. And when you reclaim your power by reclaiming all of yourself, there's no part left of you, there's no version open to attack. There's no part of you that is vulnerable. There is no part of you that's susceptible, because it's all under the protection of the unconditional love that you are. So when you do that, you have, let's go back to our past timeline. Is this making sense, everyone? The demons are just angels who have lost their way. That's exactly true. Yay! Hello, Sarah from Minnesota. Hello, Michelle from wherever you are. God, you're all gorgeous. I get so busy talking when I'm doing my own show that I just don't actually do your comments enough. So I'm going to try and put your comments up. So let me know if that makes sense. I think it's making sense, right? Because it's not even my words that have to make sense. It's what I'm speaking to resonates, and it makes sense for you, right? So whatever makes sense for you, that's the truth, right? It's not necessarily, oh, my words are the truth. What we can do is try and express and kind of try and hit the nail on the head with the words, right? But the essence of it, feel into that if that is true for you. And you know it is when you start getting goose pimples and you start, you know, feeling lighter and more empowered, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember. Take deeper breaths, really breathe into every single layer, into every single part of you, deep down, so that you're breathing all the way down to the bottom of you, and claim all of yourself, right? And let's go back to the past thing. I'm going to put this comment up as well. It's really cool. I love your comments. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's go back to the past. Let's go back to those galactic wars, that trauma, or any past or any trauma, right? This is true across the board. That energy that was held in this moment, in the trauma moment, right? That bang, not the ripple effect, but that hit, where that hit happened, that was not okay, that had a negativity, had an impact of destruction, and it still resonates. That's holding an energy that belongs to you. That trauma is holding your energy. So when you reclaim that energy by saying, I'm so sorry, me that's in trauma, please forgive me. I didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't my fault. I didn't mean it. I did my best. I love you. Come home to the truth. Thank you. Appreciate. Lots of appreciation. Lots of recognition. Lots of really seeing the truth. Owning the whole thing. You are really reclaiming all the energy from that trauma. And when you take the energy out of something, it no longer exists. So it's not that the event itself didn't happen, the event happened. But we do that. No more ripples. Because we heal and transform that energy from trauma into love. So the event happened, but it holds no energy and it has no more ripples. And effectively, what happens is that past event we've made peace with in the now, and therefore it's as if we have just erased the past. And time is a funny thing. So you think, how can you erase the past? You didn't erase it. You transformed your relationship with it. Because as long as there is trauma that's unhealed, you're in separation. Here's your now, here's the past, separate. Right? You can see that very clearly. My hands are separate. But the moment you reclaim and you heal that trauma, you've built a bridge towards it, you've made peace with it, you've integrated it, it's no longer affecting you. It's as if it's no longer there. it's almost as if it didn't happen, because what's left is just isness, is the memory in the Akashic, is the memory in the soul. But because our relationship with it is different, we feel different about it. It's got no more power over us. It just goes back into light. We've taken the disharmony out of it. We've taken away the pain and the destruction and the trauma, so that it's just light is left. And light is now. And light is everything that there is. So we've integrated our own unique piece. And as each and every single one of us integrates our own unique piece, making peace with our piece of the story, making peace with our piece of that trauma, it's like we're all just pulling the plug on it. We're disempowering it. We're taking away the impact. It no longer has an impact over us or the rest of the world. That's the most powerful thing that you can do, that any of us can do. And we are at our best. We function at our clearest, at our peak, when we're not in trauma, when we're not fighting against, but we're going with this incredible, gosh, I mean, how do you explain it? The energy that's open to us in the universe, the energy of life and creation and new purpose and empowerment and love that is open to us is right here, right now. It's not something in the future, right? Because you've just closed the past and brought it into the now, it means that you've got a whole lot more energy, a whole lot more power to create something new with. And because that past is not rippling into your future, giving you this future projection, your whole future has just changed. And because you're not projecting the past into your future, because you've just dissolved the past, you've also dissolved that potential future timeline. Does that make sense? By making peace with the past, you've made everything come into the now. So there is no projected timeline of destruction. There is only your power now in this moment to create with a whole new clean slate, a whole new opportunity for you to manifest through love, not react through fear. Does that make sense? Of course it makes sense. It's a no-brainer, right? But you won't necessarily get it here, but you'll get it here. Your body will be telling you if that's true or not true. So you're not investing energy into fighting something, but you're repurposing that fighting energy, reclaiming it, becoming whole with it, and repurposing it. And you're creating from a place of, wow, anything is possible. If I can heal that level of trauma, what else can you do? If you can love the most unlovable about yourself, you can love the most unlovable about life and humanity. You can essentially love the darkness. You're shining light into the darkest places, and the darkness has to go. No darkness can stay in the light, right? This room right now is not dark because the lights are on. And your light is the same. Wherever you go, when you're lit up because you're fully integrated, fully empowered, fully in your love, fully in your heart, fully in your unconditional love, that lights up everything. So darkness literally cannot come close to you, because it either has to get lit up and therefore it's not dark anymore and it comes clean and it's like, oh, I'm just going to join in and be love with you. Or it will remove itself and go hide under a rock somewhere because it can't bother you anymore. So don't waste energy fighting, guys. I mean, I know the survival instinct is to fight, but we have to look at our history and go, where has fighting got us? There's so many wars. and nobody ever wins. And it just creates more trauma and more trauma and more trauma and more trauma and more trauma until we're in such a state that we're so flipping vulnerable that any old thing can come along and take our power away, because we've become so vulnerable through repeated trauma. So when you go back to the source of the trauma and you heal it, basically all those traumas get dissolved and restored and healed. And when you can heal, then you activate. And when you activate, then you're actually participating in creation from unconditional love. You're activating your true gifts. You're activating your true potential, your true power, your true isness, your true human self. What you were divinely designed and created to be in this lifetime and from your soul have always been. But now is the time to truly activate it. And we can create endless possibilities. We can create enormous abundance. So whatever your gifts are, whatever you love to do, that you're doing really well, that's really easy for you, that's a no-brainer for you because you do it all the time, that's your thing. That when actually you're not coming from trauma and you're not coming from that lack and that trying to be the best version of yourself and slicing yourself up and not really integrating who you truly are, when you've done that integration, then it's like all of you is on board and everything lines up differently. You start to see your gifts differently. You start to see your power differently. You start to see the effect working differently and your impact is different. So then you kind of just line everything up and go, hold on a minute. If I can open myself to receive more of this power, then I can transmute, I can channel that power, that energy into creating my best work. So instead of just doing the little thing that you do, make it bigger. Include more people because you're a leader. You're going to lead through love and inclusion and unity. And like, what else can you do? What can your neighbor bring? What can your friend bring? What can you contribute together that makes a better world for everybody? And when we focus on that, or we're doing it actually, as we focus on that and the more energy that we pour into that, we're refunneling. And all of that energy is going into creating good stuff. And we can have an amazing time. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. We all can have so much fun doing that. And we won't even think about, oh, what's going on over there? No, I'm not responsible for saving the world. Save yourself, heal yourself, heal your own trauma. And we save the world not through fear or fighting something, but by building something, creating something, using our gifts, because we're amazing and you're amazing. It's like you're an angel in a human body with superpowers, and then you're not using them. And I'm not speaking to you as in you and not use, in being personal about it. I kind of mean on a general level, like people are not really using their power as best that they can. And all this energy is getting thrown away, trying to help this big cause. But it's really backfiring. It's really not working. People are getting exhausted and drained and in pain and suffering. And it's not working. When you put the energy into you, you own it. Boom, you light up, you have the power, then you can have the impact, then you can do something which is uniquely amazing and creative for you to do, right? So if you're a singer, sing your love, sing your inspiration, sing that out into the universe of who you truly are. Sing from your true, integrated, fully loved self. If you're a builder, go build homes, go build communities. If you're a gardener, go teach people, go create gardens, go create food gardens. Show people, right? Extend your garden out onto the street or into your neighbor's street. Extend it out into the allotments around you or extend it into the fields around you. Get people on board. Say, hey, come on, let's do this. Do you want to do this together? And all those people that want to do that, they'll come with you and they'll join in. If you're a teacher, right, and you no longer have a place in your school, or it's all just got too much and you don't want to do it. There's children everywhere that need teaching. Heck, there's adults everywhere that need teaching. So keep doing it. Keep offering out your services. Go to the places where people need you and teach. It's beautiful. And just you focusing on your gifts and what you want, even if what you want is just to, and I say just, it's not a just, even if what you want is to create life and have family and have a beautiful home and grow a garden and be happy with your partner or partners, maybe you've got partners, but you would just want to have that peaceful, happy life, go create your peaceful, happy life. And when you've made peace with your own trauma, it's the most natural thing in the world. When you love yourself for all that you are, the most natural thing in the world is to do what's in service to you as a beautiful, loving human being, because in that kind of service to yourself is service to all, because you're coming from love. Does that make sense? As you serve and love yourself, so you will love and serve others. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense for you guys. I know you get it. Nice. Hi, Jill. Blessings from, how do you say that? Aotearoa, New Zealand. Well, welcome from New Zealand, you know. Wow, what a magical place, New Zealand. There's loads of communities in New Zealand. You've got such incredibly magic land there. What can you do, Jill? I am live. You're saying you've missed me. Thank you. I've needed a bit of a break. I've actually had a pause of having guests just for a little while, because I'm glad actually I remembered to tell you this. I mentioned the solar eclipse earlier. So on the 4th of December, that solar eclipse will be happening on the 4th of December for me, because I'm in Europe. So maybe it's happening on the 3rd, or maybe it's happening, I don't know, get the date for yourself. But on the 4th of December, I have got a gift to share. And I mean gift, I mean truly free, unconditional gift, a big gift for everybody that is in my network. All you guys that listen to my stuff, that just are with me in my tribe, I've got a big gift for all of you. And so I've been working on that. I wanted to get it right. And the gift is going to be given in 2 parts. It's going to be launched. The opening part is going to be given on the 4th of December, the day of the solar eclipse. Did I say solstice? I don't know. Maybe I said solstice. I meant solar eclipse on the 4th of December. And then the second part, the big chunk, is going to be given to you on the 21st of the 12th, 21. Yes, that will be given on the solstice. So it's going to come in 2 parts. First, the first bit, and then the bigger chunk. And it's going to be absolutely free for every single one of you who wants the gift. And this gift is really a gift that was given to me. And as I continue to use the gifts that were given to me and I receive them, I get creative. And then I want to create with those gifts. And then the natural thing is just to give the gift to the next person, right? Is to give it to others. And so I am actually walking my own talk. Everything that I'm telling you to do, I'm actually doing it already myself, right? Otherwise I wouldn't tell you. And I can say it to you because I know that it's for real and I know that it works, right? I practice everything before I say it to you. It's like, I've been through this, I've done this for myself first, and I know it works. And that's why I share it with you. And that's also, by the way, why I often talk about myself and I say me and I a lot in my videos, and I talk about my own story, because I can't presume or assume to know what's going on for all of you guys individually. I don't. That's your story. But what I do know is what I've been through, what I experience, and what works for me. And my whole intention and wish and hope is that in sharing from my own self, from my own truth, and my own stories, that it's relatable for you, that you can take from that what works for you, and then you don't have to take the rest of it. So that's why I often talk about my own self and my own stories. But I actually have this gift that I want to give to you, and I'm really excited about it because I just want there to be more love on this world, right? When you know something and you know it works, you just want everybody else to have the same thing. And that's how I feel. I just want everyone to have the self-love that I have. I want everyone to have the love experience that I have. I want everyone to know the peace that I have, and more so, and keep going and keep doing it. And the more all of us are in that love and that peace and that harmony and that tranquility and that creation, in that unity consciousness together, we're all on that same playing field together in that unity consciousness and love. Oh my goodness, life just gets so much better, right? That's the real empowerment. You can feel it. It gives me goose pimples. It's like, wow, we're unstoppable. We are unstoppable because you can't stop love. You can't stop it. It's the most powerful thing there is. We are going the way of life. We are going the way of divinity. We are going the way of creation source itself, right? We're going home to that vibration that we all recognize, the vibration that we long for, that home vibration, that love vibration. And it just gets so exciting. So I'm giving my gifts totally freely because why not? I just don't care anymore. I don't care about trying to, make this work and work it that way. And I'm just like, everybody needs to have this. I want everyone to have it, as many people as possible to have it. So I'm going to be giving that gift. And I've also chosen a few select individuals, people that I really love and people that, are connected to the right kind of people who are ready, like you are. It's connected to star seeds and light beings and people that are switched on and awake and ready to reclaim their power, reclaim who they truly are, stop giving their power away to everybody else. And those people, I'm sharing this gift with them so that they can give it to their tribe, so we can reach more people, so that together, more of us can be loving ourselves and loving each other. Yay! So I'm really excited. So I will let you know the moment what day is the 4th of December, everyone? Truth bombs. Have you got goosebumps as well? Yes. Allowing it to come home. Let me just remind myself what day the 4th of November is. So it's actually next Friday. No, next Saturday. Next Saturday. So today's Thursday, 25th of November. Next Saturday, I will launch that. I'll do a video. I'll come on and do a live here, and I will share the links where you can go and get all this cool free stuff. I'm really excited. I can't wait. It's going to be like Christmas. Merry Christmas. It's my Christmas gift to the world. So let's have a look. Michelle, you needed to hear this today. It has been a heavy week. I'm telling you, you're not alone. It's been a really heavy week. And that's the thing, right? It's exhausting when you're having to keep fighting. Yes. It's exhausting when you have to keep fighting. So stop fighting. Right? When you use your superpower, like right now, after everything I've said, are you energized? Does it give you power and energy? Does it make you feel like, wow, yes, I can do this. I can do anything. What's your gift, Sharon C? What's your gift, SG115? What's your gift, You Are Life? What's your gift, Michelle? What's your gift, Jill? What's your gift, Biscuit Barrel? Just a little round of applause from Biscuit Barrel. What's your gift, Shelley? Right? What's your gift? I can't pronounce that name. I don't even know what language you are, but you beautiful soul, thanks for being here. Right? What's your gift? What do you love to do? What makes you so happy? What are you brilliant at? Focus on doing that, because that's going to win with the light over the darkness every single day of the week. It's so magic. It's so, we're so heavily traumatized and so heavily programmed into thinking that we've got to do whatever it takes to survive and fight the system and fight the enemy and fight the evil and fight the this and fight the terror and fight the... That's not who we truly are. You're being tricked. And because you've played it out so many times and been tricked into thinking that that's how you win is by fighting, that's become the instinct, the instinctual response to do so. But the empowered response, the masterful response, the evolved response is to go, hold on. Actually, what am I afraid of? Are you afraid of dying? Are you afraid of having your life taken away? Or your children's lives? Or the people you love? The planet that you love? When you think about it, what you're afraid of is losing what you love. You're not afraid of losing something you don't care about. Right? The only reason you're afraid of death or you're afraid of this destruction and this evil is the threat that it poses to what you love. So when you realize it that way, that really it's the love that matters, and you're doing it, maybe you're fighting for what you love. So what if you just love what you're fighting instead of fighting it? Because really, what you're fighting for at the end of the day is love. And love doesn't need you to fight. Love would rather you stop fighting, start making peace. That's what love wants. Does that make sense? That should click, right? Love wants life. Love wants peace. In love, there is no death. Do you see how that works? It just changes the concept, changes the parameters of the consciousness that says, no, well, there's life and then there's death and there's war and then there's love. No, when you come from that place of love and you realize that love is all there is, it's the only thing worth living for, it's the only thing worth dying for, it's the only thing worth fighting for. So stop fighting for it and live it. Live love. Love life. That's the power. The whole idea of death totally changes because it's an idea. It's not a reality. It's just like a blinker that keeps you in fear, keeps you in reaction, keeps you in trauma. Just dissolve that and realize in that place of unconditional love, there is endless life. There is life and there is life and there is life. And there is things that we release and that they get repurposed and come back. But it never dies. It's constantly in a life cycle. Right? That's why it's called a life cycle. It's always alive in some form or another. Your soul has lived in some form or another for many, 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 many thousands of years. You didn't die. You just thought you did. You didn't. You still exist. You're still here. Everything that was ever in your soul, every memory, every person, every bit that you loved, everything that you loved is all still here right now. Every gift that you ever developed is all still here right now. It didn't die. It's still with you and it wants to live. So let it live. Let life live. Let love live. And you will live forever, my friend, in love and in peace and in harmony, in that unity frequency where we're all hanging out, and it's a beautiful place to be. It's the only place to be. So there you go. There's my hour. That's my message for today. Yay. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Share if you think it's useful. Share with other people. And keep looking out. I don't know if I'm going to do a video. I won't do a video next Thursday or a live next Thursday. Actually, yes, I will. 2 days before I do my launch. Let's have a look. Yeah, on the 2nd of December. I'll do one on Thursday and then I'll do the launch one on the Saturday. So I'll see you there. And loads of love and thank you for being here. And perhaps also maybe join me on my Telegram channel. You can find me at official Tara Love Perry, I think it's called, on Telegram. So I love you, and I will see you soon. Mwah! Love you.